What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. VP Tactical here, and today I'm giving my official review of the Trijicon RMR Type 2 adjustable LED optic. This is the 06 model. Now, I know it's been a hot minute since I originally posted my unboxing, but I definitely wanted to put this thing through its paces before I gave my official review. And, well, quite frankly, it just took a little bit longer than expected. So, anyway, diving in. This is a very well-known optic. You know, the Trijicon brand and their RMRs across many different communities, police, military, consumer market, primarily due to its durability. Its original purpose, although oddly enough, was actually for use in conjunction with an ACOG. However, once it gained popularity, it did find its way to pistols, shotguns, PCCs, etc. Now, my experience with the optic has actually been great. And overall, I'm impressed with it. The brand recognition, along with its performance and durability, is really what sold me on it. Now, some folks don't like the blue tint of the optic itself, although I can see clearly through it without any issues, and quite frankly, it doesn't really bother me. Now, they did put a lot of, and I say they, Trijicon put a lot of research and development into this optic, specifically the top and then the frame. Notice if you see the curvature here, some might actually think it's for aesthetics, although it serves a very real purpose. And its design actually allows it to redirect energy from an impact to protect the lens and actually reduce the chance of it shattering. Now, what was interesting, too, in my experience, based on my research and then also, again, my own usage, is that this optic's actually designed to be left on 24/7. However, it does have a battery conservation feature that'll switch to a low power mode after 16 and a half hours of inactivity. You also have the option of manually turning it off. Now, I prefer to run mine in a standard mode where I choose the brightness, and if I wanted to, I can run or utilize the lockout controls to prevent the brightness from being changed. Now, it does feature an automatic brightness adjustment. However, that can cause issues based on the lighting, and if the surrounding environment brightness changes, that could cause a lot of problems. Personally, I'm not a fan of the automatic brightness, but to each their own. Now, what's the biggest drawback to this optic? Well, I personally think, and other people might feel differently, but it's related to the battery compartment, which if you look around the optic, there's no other spot to install it. So you'd say, well, okay, well, where is it? Well, it's actually on the bottom side of the optic, which means that when the battery needs to be changed, the optic has to come off and be reinstalled, with a very good likelihood that you'll have to resight the optic. Not an end of the world issue, but it is annoying. And I should note that it's a 2032 battery, which ideally should last for close to 12 months, although usage will vary, and that's going to make a big difference on how bright or how dim you have the optic when it's running. Also relating to the optic is the fact that the unit is not waterproof from the factory in certain circumstances. In order to accomplish this, you actually have to purchase a separate plate that gets installed underneath the battery compartment between the optic and the mounting surface itself. And if you look real closely, you can actually see mine underneath there. They do not include this plate. As I mentioned, it's an additional item that you have to pay for out of pocket. It's not very expensive, but you'll need to source it yourself. I should note, the need for the plate is dependent on the mounting surface. Now, whether or not there's openings, if there's beveled edges, etc. Although at this price point, I'm not taking any chances of my optic being ruined by water damage. I'd rather just get the plate, be done with it, move on. Overall, I give this optic the stamp of approval. If you have the monetary means and want a top-tier battle-tested optic, well, then this is for you. It's considered the gold standard for a reason. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was insightful to you. Stay tuned for more exciting content. Be safe, stay vigilant.